Don't know what to say to this one. This is schools and fines and autistic and ADHD kids. So feel free to swipe if it's not for you. Don't know what to say to this one. So there was a little while ago where I didn't send my son in because he was being unfairly treated. So he has ADHD, autism and ODD. Very quick background of the story. He was on half days. So I would pick him up at 1:20 p.m. And then he'd have the rest of the day off because he was struggling to cope within the school setting. So there was a situation where he got himself an inclusion. So the inclusion just means that he spends the day isolated, away from everyone else, no breaks, no lunches, there's a teacher in there, no education either, by the way, just putting that one out there. So that's isolation for him. Because he was on half days, they turned around and they said, well, he has an inclusion, so he has half days, so we are going to put him on 2 inclusion days. And that's exactly what they've done. So they said his inclusion must go between the first day and the second day. This battle went on for ages with us, okay? And I refused to send him in for the second day of inclusion because it was unfair. It was unfair treatment. It was a 1-day inclusion. His 1 day just happens to be between 8:40 and 1:20, whereas everybody else's goes up to 3:10. So we battled that for absolutely ages. Anyway, we got to the end of it by the executive head teacher of King's Academy, by the way. The executive head teacher, who was the head teacher for this school and another school, he ended up sorting it out. So he ended up just bringing my son in and just saying, look, we just need to kind of reintroduce ourselves. I need you to spend the day with me because I need to know who you are and what you're about. And then we'll gradually get you back into lessons. He's back in half days at the moment. We've been through a whole rigmarole. Anyway, point of the story. Further to our letter dated, it's come to our attention that there has been an additional 64 sessions of unauthorised absence during the period of the 25th of the 2nd to the 5th of the 6th. I have attached a registration certificate. I must inform you, this will now be referred to the prosecution and magistrates court for the offence of failing to ensure your child's regular attendance at school. Can you actually believe that? They knew why I didn't send him into school. They knew why I didn't. And let me take this down and I can show you. It's diabolical. I'll give it that. It is absolutely diabolical. But that weren't our fault. That was the school making a decision on somebody who struggles with school, who struggles with compliance, and they wanted to punish him twice for one offence. That wasn't my fault. That wasn't his fault. That was the school. And I messaged the school as well. And I said to them, for the fact that your teacher made a decision, okay, she's the head of behavioural and something or other else. It doesn't really say much for that title, I've got to say. But her decision was made and her decision was final. There was no backing down on that one. And I actually said to the head teacher at the time, the fact that your teacher can make a decision and that decision cannot be overturned, that is a dangerous position to be in. That is a very dangerous position to be in. Also, when we went on holiday, I did get fined. And I said to them that we went during a quiet time, because of his autism and ADHD, that's being taken to magistrates court as well because I didn't pay for it. And I told him I didn't pay for it. And I told him it was a quiet time. And I told them various other different reasons for not going as well. But yeah, so I'm going to court. Yay!